Hey there guys, my camera crashed or something, so I started doing my wrap up and it didn't go well, so I'm going to just redo it again, even though it just started. But anyway, it's the 1st of July today, so I thought I'll start by doing my June wrap up, because I promised I'd do it as soon as possible, so let's get straight on with it. Sorry I don't look amazing, but I've just been kind of chilling out today, and I'm going to get all glamorous because I'm going out for something later on today, so I thought I'd just chill out for the rest of the day. But anyway, the first book I read was on the 4th of June 2016, and it was the Never Close Enough, the Never series, book 1 by Annie Michaelsons, and I gave it 3 out of 5. I had this book for about 3 days since I bought it, because I was currently reading something else till I started reading it, and I read that one. It was really good because I gave it 3 out of 5. It's like standard for me. And then on the next day, on the 5th of June 2016, I read Never Far Away, the Never series, book 2 by Annie Michaelsons, and I gave that 4 out of 5. And then on the 6th of June 2016, I read Never Given It Up, the Never series, book 3 by Annie Michaelsons, and that was 4 out of 5. There's only 3 books. They're not very long ones compared to some books I've read. It's not like Breaking Dawn length, but it was just enough. I loved it. The first book was kind of just about, I don't want to give it away, but it's about a girl who's, it's on her birthday and she ends up basically like breaking up with her boyfriend, and she had booked like this getaway for her and her boyfriend on their birthday, but she ends up going on her own, and she meets this boy who's kind of not an asshole, but he's just maybe just a bit rude to her in the beginning, because he thinks, you know, he kind of judges her as soon as he meets her, doesn't really know who she is, and they kind of become friends, and it's kind of about them like falling in love sort of thing. But it's a very realistic and different story. I liked it. It kind of feels like this really could happen to someone I know, but it had drama in it, but it was kind of realistic enough, but it was kind of a different type of love story. It wasn't like, oh, this is a rock star meets a girl, blah blah blah. It wasn't anything like that, or a vampire and a girl, blah blah. It was just right. And then the second book, a lot has happened in their relationship from the first book, and it's all about them trying to get back together from where they have been. And the third book is just kind of getting to like the happy ending of where they want to be, and it's a really good series. I really recommend you guys go and read it. I will be doing reviews for this. I'll be doing each book as a review, and I'll probably do an overview of like the whole 3 books all together, and it was just really good. And then on the same day, on the 6th, which is when I read the first book, it just says that I've read the Never box set, which means I've read all 3 books, so it's kind of not another book, but it says that on Goodreads that I can put that I've read the whole series, but that doesn't count as another book technically. But then on 3 days later, because it was the 6th, now it's the 9th of June 2016, I read the book Big Rock by Lauren Blakely, and I gave it 2 out of 5. I thought this actually was the books and the book covers look very similar to another author I knew who I actually really like, and I ended up looking for her and realising this was a different author, but I thought this book still sounded okay, and it's a series, so there's a different couple each book, so I thought I'd read the first one. Wasn't sure if I was really going to like it, so I gave the book a chance. The book was alright, but it didn't go, I say this a lot now, I think, in my videos, this book didn't go how I thought it was going to. I think they could have had the whole idea, the storyline of the book could have gone in a much better way. They would have made me want to give it like 4 stars, but for me it just felt like it went too quick. The love wasn't realistic, and I didn't like how the boy and the girl did things, and I just didn't like the story, and the book wasn't long enough to make it even work. You know, the book was too short, I think, that it made it believable. They just kind of just rushed into things, and then I had to, the ending was happy, obviously they ended up like getting married for real in the end, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't think I'd really believe this. It wasn't, it didn't feel real enough to me. I know fiction isn't real, but I wanted to feel like it could happen to me, that it feels, the pacing and the characters and the chemistry in the book feels realistic enough to me. Like, same with TV, sometimes there's couples that just don't seem like they would be a couple to me in real life, and they don't have good chemistry. So yeah, it wasn't very good, so I'm not going to be reading the next book of the series. I just don't think it's worth it. The next one was on the 12th of June 2016, which is another 3 days later, and it was Chasing You, The Love Wanted in Texas book 5 by Kelly Elliott, and I gave that 4 out of 5. And Kelly Elliott is one of my favourite authors of all time, as you guys probably should know if you watch a lot of my book videos, and I love this one. This is the 5th book in the series. It was really good. I haven't reviewed any of the books of this series, but I have done the Wanted series, which is about the parents, the first set of the generation. It's so good, so I can't wait to be doing these reviews. It was so good. The next book was on the 17th of June 2016, which is 5 days later, and it was Grayson's Vow by Mia Sheldon, and I gave it 4 out of 5. I never read a book by this author before. Some of this book cover just really, you know, they say don't judge a book by its book cover, but this book cover really drawed me in. I like it. If you see the book cover, it's a woman and a man, but it made me want to read what this book was about. And I've seen the author's other book covers and they don't really seem to fit with what I think would attract me to the book. But I think after reading this author's book, I think I would go and read more of her books and give them a chance, and I hope they're just as good as this one. This book was quite long, but it made it realistic because it made the pacing of how this couple's relationship happened. I won't tell you what it's about, but it's basically about this man who's very poor, and he has a what's called wine, I forgot what they call it, a house where it has wine in. I can't remember what they call it. And this woman is poor as well, but she's from a rich family, but she has a way of getting money from a family member, but there's a catch, and she has to like fake a marriage with this man, and it will help him out to keep his wine gallery thing at home. They have to kind of fake their marriage, but if they're going to fall in love for real. But there's a lot more. There isn't just like a very simple book about a couple faking their marriage and then really fall in love. There's a lot more in depth with it, with like challenges, abuse in people, not their relationships, but oh yeah, he's got a troubled family and troubled romance in the past, and so it's got much more than just a romance to it. It's got kind of like a life lessons to it, and it was long enough that it really felt like a real story to me. But some of the things that the guy says near the end of the book did really make me want to. I think if it was me personally, I don't think I'd be able to forgive him as quick as she did. I think I would have probably moved on if it was me, because of some of the stuff he said. Even though I know that we found that it was lies, I just think if that was me and I heard that from someone that I was in love with, I would have been like, F you. But it was still a very good book, and I loved the ending, so I really recommend you guys going to read that as well. The next one was on the 18th of June 2016, so the very next day, and it was Riot. I think it was not in my video that's just gone up today, the previous video before that one, where I was talking about, I did a book wrap up from like last year or something, because this wrap up wasn't ready to be put up yet because it was still the month. So, but I talked about that I was currently reading a book called Riot, which is the second book in the series of Mayhem Book 2 by Jamie Saul. And I told you that I kind of enjoyed the first book and it was okay, so I wasn't sure if I should go and read the rest of the book. So I read book 2, and I think it was actually, I don't know, I can't decide if I think this book was better than the first one. I think it was completely on the same level, but I really still enjoyed it, even though it wasn't as good as I think it could have been. But I still gave it 3 out of 5, and I still think I will go and read the last one, but not straight away. Again, I think I will have a gap, wait until I fancy reading that book again, the next one about the other couple. But it's still worth a read. On the 20th of June 2016, this is the first book I'll be reviewing very soon. It's by Tina Reber. I don't know if you know this author, but this author is one of my favourite authors of all time, because she has currently written my favourite book series of all time, which is only 2 books, but it's my favourite book right at the top of all books at this period of my time. It could change. I could find a book that I think will replace it and be even better than this, but for the main time, this book author has been the author who wrote my favourite book series of all time. So of course, when you have an author that you just love her book so much, you think it's kind of a scary thing, but a good thing, because I'm like, I love her other books, so how can I not go and read another book of hers because I love it? But then you're kind of scared, what about if this book's not good and I don't like it? And that's what happened with this book, which is Jat, the Trent Brothers book 1 by Tina Reber, and I gave it 1 out of 5. And it's very sad to know that my favourite author who created my favourite book of all time it's kind of a spin-off series, is when it's in the same world but about a brother who's connected in my favourite book series, but it's not got the couple from that, but they are mentioned once, but it's still in the same world. It's not a completely different world like being supernatural or anything, but I need to do a review about it, but the love just was not realistic. I didn't like the characters. I really wouldn't care if they died. But it's sad to know that this can happen sometimes. The author that you really love, who can write a very good book that means so much to you, then you could read another book that you just don't like. But I think that puts people off authors sometimes, because you might read a book that's just terrible, so you don't want to go and risk the chances of wasting money reading another book they might write. But sometimes I think that's why I think it's good to give the author another chance in a different book, because you might like it. I might hate, you know, I could have read this book first and really hated it and been like, oh, I don't like the author, this was terrible, and never read the book that she wrote that is my favourite book series of all time, which is just 2 books, and I would have missed out on finding my favourite book of all time that I've ever read so far. So sometimes authors just will write books that are good, but you don't think they're good in your personal opinion, but you need to give the author a chance and read something else that they might have written. But maybe you still won't like them. On the very next day, on the 21st of June 2016, I read Fighting for Forever, the Fighting Book 5 by J.B.S. Samsbury, 4 out of 5. I did this in another book wrap up a few months ago, because I've read book 1 of the series, book 2, book 3. Book 4 was the book that I didn't read because it didn't sound interesting for me, so I skipped that one and went straight to book 5. So I've read 5 books of this series. There's another one after this one yet, but I haven't got it. But I think I said that the first book of the series was my favourite of all time that I've read. And then I went and read the second one, and I thought that one was even maybe better than the first one. The third one I didn't like at all, and the fourth one I didn't read. The fifth one, I think the fifth one has become a very similar match to how much I loved the first one and the second one. The third one just wasn't for me, but it was very different from the others. But I love this author, and I like most of her books are really good, and I will be doing a review for this one. It's very hard for me to pick if I like the first one better, the second one, or the fifth one. I can't decide, and I'm very interested in maybe reading the next one in the series eventually, and yeah, I will be doing reviews for all these books as well. But yeah, I can't decide. I gave it 4 out of 5. I can't remember what I gave the first book. I think it was 4 out of 5 or something as well. On the 24th of June 2016, which is 3 days later, I read Cruel Beauty Universe Book 1 by Rosamund Hodge, is that it? And I gave it 2 out of 5. This is basically, apparently, a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and if you guys didn't know, that Beauty and the Beast is my favourite fairy tale story of all time, and they're doing a new movie, you know, by Disney, but it's a live action one, so it's not animated with real actors. They have Hermione, who's Emma Watson from not Vampire Diaries, Harry Potter, playing Bella. I don't know who's playing the Beast yet. It comes out next year in 2017. I'm very excited. They had the new Cinderella come out, didn't they? And I really enjoyed that, the live action one, which I think it came out this year, wasn't it? I think it was, but early this year, after Christmas. But it was really good. So it's my favourite fairy tale of all time. And they said, if you believe in the whole, if you're a girl out there and you like Disney princesses, I would say that if I had to choose which one I would be, I think I would be Belle. Obviously I'm blonde, but I love books, and Belle loves books, and I love seeing people for their personality, not their beauty, because I think you can find true beauty within ugliness, if that makes sense. I think scars are beautiful, and people think that's weird, but I do. I think I have most in common with Belle, and I'm quite a quiet person as well, but I can be fun and outgoing, so I think that's who I'd be most related to as a Disney character. I've got another book actually that I haven't read yet that is also meant to be a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and apparently people say that one's even better than this one. But this book, Cruel Beauty's been all over on YouTube bookworms and on Goodreads, and everyone's been talking about it, and famous people have told me to read it, so I gave it a go, and it wasn't. The book started out very good, and I just didn't really like the ending, how it ended. It kind of, some bits just didn't even make sense to me in the book, how they described things, because it was sort of like I wouldn't call it supernatural, but it was like supernatural but in a normal human world, but it was kind of all mixed up. It's kind of felt like how Alice in Wonderland goes, you know, where it's very weird and all about your imagination, but some bit you can't make sense of, where it's just kind of all a bit wonky, like crazy. So this book did kind of confuse me sometimes, but I still enjoyed it, but I only gave it 2 out of 5 because it didn't end the way I think it could have ended in a much better way, and there was parts of it I just didn't understand and didn't really like. I don't think you could really enjoy a book that you can't really understand from your own mind. So that's that. And then the next book was on the 29th of June 2016, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so that's 5 days later, and I read Unforgettable Love, Journey of Love, book 3 by Kelly Elliott. Again, another Kelly Elliott book, and this is book 3 of the Love, Journey of Love book, and I gave it 4 out of 5. And it was very good. I loved it. I just read this one very recently. Obviously, it was the 30th yesterday, so this was just 2 days ago, and it was the last book I actually read. I have read the previous books of the series, but it was like, I think it was last year now, wasn't it? I think like before Christmas time. But this is the last. I think this is the last one of the Love Journey series. There might be a fourth one, I can't remember, but it was really good. I can't decide if I think this one, I don't know, I can't decide if I think this one was the best one out of the series, because Kelly Elliott is so good at writing any book that she writes, and it's very hard to decide which book you think's the best out of the series, because even though the couples are the same, but they're so different, and they all have their own life lessons and how the love of the couple get together and the things that they go through if they have children or marriage or heartbroken or rape or whatever it is, or their versions or not. It's just, they all have their own story, and it's just as good as pretty much every single one. I can pick some books of Kelly Elliott that I think are not as good as quite as others, but I seem to just love pretty much anything that Kelly Elliott writes. So I know that I have the confidence in this author so much now that I think I wouldn't even have to read what the book's about to just want to buy it. I could just buy it and know that I'm going to have a good time with it, even if it's a book that's going to make me ugly cry and hate if it ends bad, but it ends in a good way at the same time, because Kelly Elliott has done that to me before. But it's just, she's a brilliant author. I would say she's one of my favourites of all time that I have said, the same as Kelly Elliott or Abby Glines or Tina Ree, but I need to do a video about my favourite like female romance authors that I think do the best books that I seem to love, because they kind of, Kelly Elliott is just one of those authors that seems to just know what I want in a love story, because you know, every female author or anyone who writes a love story has a different point of view of what they think love is, or how a love story should be, and how people should get together and how far you should take it. And I think Kelly Elliott just is on the same page with me when it comes to love. She knows how to write a great love story in the way that I would think of a great love story. I love it. She makes them feel like fairy tales to me, that I wish that I was in a Kelly Elliott book, that was my life, because I just love the stories, even though if it makes me jealous sometimes. That's what she actually makes me feel sometimes, even when the character is jealous of a guy like being with another girl, it makes me feel jealous. I feel what the characters are feeling as well, the boy and the girl. She's just so on point with making me feel the right emotions that the author wants you to feel. So that is it for my June wrap up. So I'm going to just count how many books that actually was, because I don't know. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 books. I did think I was going to read about another 2 books, so it would have been 14, but I have been quite busy recently, keep going out and stuff, and I have some news I'm going to quickly mention you. I did mention it in like a few videos before, and probably more than one, that I don't know if I'm going back to college this year in September, or if I'll be getting a job or whatever. So I won't tell you where, but I did go for a job interview a while ago, and I heard back recently that I have got the job. So I am now going to be at a job, so I won't be going to college again, but this job is only part-time for now, so I will not be having you know, like the whole 3 months off for summer holidays, because I start my job this month in, what's the 6th is the first day today, so 5 days from now, so I start on the 6th of July. But the job is only part-time, so I think it's 3 or 2 days out of the week that I only have to go, but I'm hoping to get in the job eventually as full-time. But this is a good thing, because that means even though I won't be having the whole summer holidays to myself, I still will have a lot of time off, more than I did when I was at college, because I would have to be there still like more than half the week, but I did get a few days off as well, more than the weekend. So that means that even though I'll be going to work, I'll be earning some more money, which is really good, and that means I'll still have time to do this on the side as well, YouTube, so I'll be able to do a lot more scheduling with my videos. So that also means I'll be able to do my book wrap-ups that I still keep doing for you, but I'll also be able to be doing my holiday in September, which is still not far away, which I will be taking my camera with me to vlog the whole holiday for the week with my mum. And I also will be able to start doing some reviews very soon, so I'm very excited about that, so that I can get back into reviewing stuff, and I've got some other stuff of ideas that I'm excited about talking about with you. So that was my June wrap up of 2016. I hope you really enjoyed it, and I hope that you guys, I think if you are at school then you should be breaking up pretty much soon, and don't you finish by the 2nd of July at the latest, I think. My sister's already finished because she left on the 28th of June, but I think all schools finish by, isn't it the 2nd of July? It might be the 5th, but I'm pretty sure it's the 2nd that all schools finally break up. So if you're at school or college, you should pretty much be near to finishing by now, so that you can be off summer holiday. So hope you go out and have some sunshine. I hope you will have a really good year. And it's crazy, today it's, if you didn't know, that it's 6 months today till the new year. Happy New Year. And that seems crazy. My mum's birthday's coming up. I got my friend's birthday coming up before that, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm just really excited about what's coming next. I'm kind of excited that I'm not going back to college. I mean, I love college, it's fun, but I like that I'll be going to work and earning some money now. This means that I'm going to a new stage of my life where I'll be able to have money of my own, so I can start buying more stuff myself than my mum, and start hoping to get to full-time so that I can eventually move out in a few years and get my own place and become a full adult. So I'm very excited about that. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and you guys are my VIPs. I'm sorry I keep saying at the end of the videos recently. I just keep forgetting about it. But you guys are my VIPs. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you again very soon. And I love you. Bye!